Well, it looks like we've got another clip exposing Mayor Pete once again. Now, Mayor Pete was on the stage in the debate stage saying, I need to take corporate money. I have to do this to win. I have to do this because I need to. And also, it's okay because I'm not corrupted by these people. Not at all. Not whatsoever. Not even close. Now, as Amy Klobuchar mentioned at the debate, before he became a South Bend mayor, he ran for state treasurer in Indiana, and he lost by a lot. And this is an interview when he was running for state treasurer. So he says some interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and hear this out.
Anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything you had in mind?
I think today is the day when campaigns release their finance numbers, and everybody puts their cards on the table for the last quarter. And it's highlighted something I think is really important in this race, and is very important certainly to my campaign. And that is that I think we need to get special interest money out of the treasurer's race. Right now, there are almost no rules constraining the ability of, say, Wall Street banks to pump large sums of money into state treasurer's campaign. And having looked at my own finances and seen what's happening in my opponent's race, I've noticed that thousands of dollars are flowing in from some of the biggest banks in the country in order to defeat me. It's not just that they're trying to defeat me that I'm bothered by this, but very early on in this campaign, I made a decision that I wasn't going to accept any money from a bank that could be doing business with the state treasurer's office. I think it creates a conflict of interest. It creates an appearance, at the very least, that can smell like pay to play. It's not good for the state. And I don't think it's good for the banks either. Who wants to be the one bank that didn't contribute if 4 or 5 banks are competing to get a favorable decision from the state treasurer's office? And so early on in this campaign, I announced that I wouldn't take that money, no corporate money from banks, no PAC money from banks, and somebody who works at a bank, we're going to hold ourselves to a limit that's lower than the official limit.
So there you go. This is Mayor Pete from back in 2010. This is not a good look for Mayor Pete because obviously if you're running as president of the United States and you're taking money from Wall Street executives, literally whatever billionaire you want to talk about, right? CEOs of big business, etc., etc. If you're being bankrolled by them, obviously you're going to be, influenced to aiding them. And as you said right there, Pete, it at least gives the smell of pay to play, right? So that's why a candidate for president of the United States, the most powerful office in the world, okay, should not take corporate PAC money, or forget corporate PAC money. I'm talking really anything when it comes to doing these big fundraisers of $2,700 and taking money from, Wall Street executives, etc., etc., okay? That's why you shouldn't be doing those, okay? The same rationale that you gave as candidate for state treasurer as to why you shouldn't take it, the same thing applies to the largest office in the land, because when you become president, you're going to start doing favors for those people the same way congressional members do. And so when you become president of the United States, let's say, you're funded by ExxonMobil or something like that, right? Or oil companies, you're going to be more influenced to do things that will benefit them, right? Going into more foreign interventions. Same thing with like Raytheon and the entire MIC, that is the military-industrial complex. Same thing goes for Wall Street banks. If you're taking money from them, you're going to regulate them less, or maybe not at all. So I don't know what changed between this guy, but he looks like a slimy guy then, and he looks like a slimy guy now. He's funded by rich people. He does closed-door fundraisers. He's a complete flip-flopping fraud, okay? And, he has been courting superdelegates from the jump. He was part of those secret DNC meetings that they were doing to try to figure out how to beat Bernard. So this guy reeks of corruption and just peak, sellout and douchebaggery is what I would say.